Welcome in our colleague Roch Kubatko. And Roch, Matt Wieters not in the starting lineup again today, so that's 3 consecutive games he's missing with that sore wrist. What's the prognosis for Wieters getting back on the field?
Well, it's better, at least. The lineup was kind of slow to be posted today because they were waiting for him to go ahead and swing the bat. All the reporters rushed his locker. He said, hey, let me go test it first. I'll be right back. It didn't take very long. He said he still has one spot in the left wrist that's got some discomfort in it. So they figure, why push it? Go ahead and rest him again today. You know, Buck never tips his hand about who's available and who isn't. But I don't expect him to play it all today. They figure if he can rest today and all tonight, they've got a night game tomorrow that's extended time for him. He should be back in the lineup. He should face Tanaka. He's 1 for 5 against him. So, you know, he just wasn't quite comfortable enough to get back in the lineup today, but he said it is getting better. So he should play, and that would hopefully be a help for them because the offense could use the boost, even though, like I said, he's got kind of limited time against Tanaka. He should be back in the lineup. One thing to keep in mind, though, he is 0 for 10 with 5 strikeouts lifetime against Andrew Miller. So keep that in mind if there's a late inning matchup there. It doesn't bode well for the Orioles.
All right, now J.J. Hardy, we saw him on the field prior to the game today during BP, and he is eligible to come off the disabled list tomorrow. Is he on schedule to rejoin the team?
He is. Actually, he could have played yesterday. That's how well he's doing now. No discomfort in the groin. He's doing full baseball activities. He's running. He's moving side to side. He's doing everything. And as Buck said, yeah, he's ready to go yesterday. We just have to wait one more day because he's not eligible yet. So he will definitely be in the lineup. You know, he didn't want to go on the DL, obviously, and he was trying to resist that. But they realized it was the right thing to do. The only way that injury was going to heal is if he just rested it for a while. So he'll be in the lineup. That'll impact Paul Janisch, of course, who's got some starts at short. Buck said he could play other positions. I just don't know where. They seem pretty set in the infield now with J.J. back. Same with Ryan Flaherty. He could kind of go back to his utility role. Hardy will be in the lineup against Tanaka. He's never faced him before. Tanaka's made 3 career starts against the Orioles. Hardy has never been in the lineup.
All right, now we know the hitting has tailed off in this stretch in which the Orioles have lost 15 of 19 games, but what is more puzzling is how the entire starting rotation has struggled at the same time for this entire 3-week stretch. The starters in the last 19 games, Roch, are 2-13 combined and an ERA of 6.55. Is there any reason whatsoever how an entire staff can go into a funk at the same time?
It really is puzzling. That's what I keep pointing to. I'm aware of the deficiencies offensively, the problems they've had scoring runs at times, the stretch of 3 runs or less that they've scored. But I still insist the #1 issue with this club is the drop-off in the rotation from last year to this year. I mean, they have a 3.57 ERA right now, the rotation, and that ranks 25th in the majors. It was 3.61 last year, which ranked 12th, and that was 5th in the American League. So that has been the biggest issues. They have not had a starter go at least 6 innings in the last 8 starts. And I think 5 of the last 6 have completed 5 innings. They're falling behind early. The offense can't catch up, and this is why they're 1 game out of last place. Now, you ask what can be done about it. Mike Wright figures to stay in the rotation and get another start after going, was it 4 innings the other day in Toronto, while Miguel Gonzalez is on the DL. Tyler Wilson, we were told, will make at least 1 more start at Norfolk. He started last night. Eventually, he could come up. I talked to Gonzalez earlier today. He said the shoulder and the elbow are a lot better. He has tendonitis there, the inflammation. But who knows where the Orioles are going to be in the standings when he gets back and how effective he's going to be. It's just been a very big drop-off. That's why I still say the #1 priority in the offseason has got to be to do something with the rotation. Besides the fact they're going to be losing Chen, you have to replace him. They need to try and go out there and get that true ace, that stud #1 starter. And I know they don't come cheaply. David Price doesn't come cheaply. I could pitch in. I've been saving money for my daughter's wedding next year. But this is important. I will dip into that fund.
I can't chip in. I got 3 weddings next year, so I can't help out getting David Price here. But, you know, you mentioned the tail-off in the hitting. The Orioles in this 19-game stretch have scored 3 runs or less in 14 of those 19 games. This puts a tremendous amount of pressure on the pitchers to keep them in the game. There's no wiggle room whatsoever almost day in and day out.
Right. It really does work both ways. You can look at it that way as well, that because the rotation, you know, they know they have to be perfect when the offense isn't scoring. And you mentioned how many times they scored 3 runs or fewer. I wonder how many times they've only scored in 1 inning. Like they kind of condense everything into 1 inning where they score 2 or 3 runs, and then suddenly the opposing pitcher retires 10 in a row, 12 in a row, 14 in a row. And a lot of that is, I know guys are pressing, and you guys talked about it earlier. When Adam Jones and Chris Davis aren't hitting, then the offense goes down with them, and Davis heats up for a little while, then he cools off again. Adam needs to get hot again. So yeah, I mean, there are problems on both sides, but I still think right now the biggest drop-off last season, this season, is that rotation.
All right, Roch, good information. Enjoy your day in the Bronx.
Thank you.